Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be talking about Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Saw this movie last night, so let's get into it. I saw the trailer for this once, and immediately when I saw this, I kind of knew for the most part what I was going to get into with this movie. And after watching it last night and can't stop thinking about it, I really enjoyed this movie. This is directed by Gore Verbinski, which I didn't even know that going into this. I tried to, I watched the trailer, but didn't really connect with who directed this. And then when the movie was over, I looked that up and I was shocked because, haven't seen a movie from him in some time, and many of the movies that he's worked on are ones that I've quite enjoyed. And this cast is very impressive as well. But going into this movie, I will say before I get into this, if you can go see this as blind as possible, I highly encourage it because there is a lot to unpack in this movie. It's a sci-fi movie that is really centralized around AI, but I definitely encourage people, go see it as blind as possible. I'm going to try my best to not spoil anything, but I may go into some details, but there are things that you'll see in the trailer or on the poster, so I wouldn't call those spoilers by any means. So this movie follows Sam Rockwell as our main character. He is someone from the future who travels back to the past, specifically going to a diner in LA where he must recruit a random group of people to help him go on a 6-block mission to stop this rogue AI from taking over the world. And it's so fascinating because it's not just any group of people. He has to find the right combination of individuals to help this mission succeed. So we know going into this that being a time travel movie, he's done this many times. There's so many things that he can talk about that give you that confidence that he has been in this situation before, he's met these people before, he can prove that he is from the future. Because when you see him in this outfit, yes, he does pretty much look like a homeless person who is in this clear tarp style, like raincoat, whatever, and just covered in wires, and it is just bonkers right off the bat. But as we get into this movie, let's get into the positives first. So overall, I really enjoyed everything from the cast and to the story that we get in here. This story, like I described it, being focused around AI, it comes off almost like a Black Mirror episode in certain ways. It's really, really wild. It's really out there. You get into elements that are very zany and just completely from the left field. And as we're getting to know these characters, many of them do get their own subplots as well. So it's fascinating to get some character development here through these like almost mini episodes within this movie, because when we get into those sub stories, they are touching on things that can relate to AI in different ways. And that is one of the biggest pieces why I really enjoyed this movie, because the core of this movie is talking about the damage that AI can have on humanity. And, I am someone that does work in technology. I do work with these AI tools. I do keep up with AI news and what's going on. And so seeing how they're approaching, the timelines that we could see with AI is quite fascinating. And even when you get into the tail end of this movie and how it wraps up, there were certain parts I wasn't quite sure about, but it does wrap up successfully. But going back into the positives, Sam Rockwell is just an actor I've grown to enjoy more and more these days. You can put him in almost anything and he'll make it work. And this is such a unique group of cast that we're getting here. Juno Temple and Haley Lou Richardson are kind of like the main trio that we get. We have Michael Pena in this and Zazie Beetz as well. So they're definitely underutilized compared to the core three, but they all bring their own flavor to this movie, their own personalities, and the things that they've gone through their sub stories is quite interesting, and how it all kind of ties together as they're meeting together as a group. It's definitely a fascinating watch because it feels like a low budget movie in certain ways. You are on the streets of LA. They're basically trying to get to a house and they've got to work through a map to get from point A to point B. But, he's done this so many times, he can call out what certain things happen in certain places, which is just wild watching this and like what kind of like happens as they're moving along. But yeah, it's so much on the ground of moving around, trying to get through different obstacles. But when you have these moments where they are using the money in certain ways. It is quite impressive. And it is one of those movies where watching it multiple times, you're going to pick up on various clues. And there's quite a bit, like I was picking up on right away, just from some terminology that threw in here that we use in day-to-day AI engineering, which was like crazy to me. And like I enjoyed it so much. Just think this why I probably like this movie so much more than I could see others enjoying it. You know, it is sci-fi, it is weird, it is wonky. Now, going into the mix of this movie, really nothing too much on the mix. I mean, for the most part, I really enjoyed so much of this element. The characters that we get, the story, the sub-stories, the location, all of that I really enjoyed. It really goes into maybe potential negatives of this movie. It's really that some of the sub-storylines don't really have a proper ending. Nothing's really tied together in the end. I think mostly for me, it was with the sub-story with Juno Temple. It gets a little dark, a little deep, more dark on the dark side, and it's one where I need to watch this movie again to really pay attention to what her character has gone through, to wrap my head around like how does this make sense as a whole with this movie. Because there are elements in this movie that's not just so much touching about AI per se, but just the current state of the world through social media, through brain rot, through teenagers, not just so much teenagers, but just, you know, many individuals just doom scrolling. You know, there are probably elements I think you could throw into like the whole like AI slop category as well. And again, when you get to those elements is when it gets really, really wild. But when you get to, you know, these final moments, definitely pay attention, because I think it does sum up quite well of where we're at in present day with the state of AI and what is known and what is unknown. And I think that a lot of that is what this movie covers. And I think it does it fairly well. I just wish all of the stories could have really been tied up nicer together and really give us like some decent closure for all these characters in certain ways. But again, like, you know, I think there's probably more here than I caught on to. So that's why I definitely say a second watch for this movie would be very crucial. But good luck, have fun, don't die. I really enjoyed this movie. It has currently made it to the top of my list for this year, in my ranked list. I would encourage you to go see it, you know, especially, you know, I think if you're in sci-fi and you're into AI, you're going to find so much to catch on with this movie and really enjoy. If you're someone that's not really following the AI trend, yeah, there could be things in here to throw you off, but I still encourage you to go watch it, because I do think it's pretty relevant. And you know, I'm more on the side of having everyone, you know, try to get on the same pace with AI and where it's heading and where our world could head with AI. So good luck, have fun, don't die. I'm gonna give this movie an A. Really enjoyed it. I will definitely buy the physical copy of this when it comes out. I do hope I can see this again in theaters. Yeah, for me being a sci-fi fan, me being someone in technology, using AI, a fan of AI, even though like I do look at all the different timelines we could go through, yeah, like highly encourage you to go check out this movie. All right, if you saw this movie, what did you think? What are some things you picked up on? What are other sci-fi movies you've liked? We're still early in the year, so if there are other sci-fi movies that have dropped on streaming and that I should check out, let me know in the comments below. Always looking for sci-fi watches. Predator Badlands is now on Hulu, Disney+. Definitely check that one out as well for more of the sci-fi action. We'll throw that one out there. All right, if you're new to the channel, thanks so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Consider liking, subscribing, all of that helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it. All right, I will be back again with more reviews. Haven't seen Wuthering Heights yet. Hope to see that with my wife soon, but we'll get more reviews out very soon. All right, hope everyone has a great weekend. See ya.